I'm Paul Priestman. I'm a designer, and my original background was product design. But I realised quite early on I was quite interested in designing big projects, capital projects. And PriestmanGoode now is quite a big company. We're about 30 designers in all, and there's 4 directors. And we design everything from product still, obviously, but right through to aeroplanes, trains, ships, airports, hotels. Our interiors range from high-quality hotels through to airport interiors. We were lead interior consultants on T5, working with Richard Rogers, and we led that part of the project. We also work on budget hotels with people like Accor for Motel 6 and ETA. Well, it's interesting, our sort of movement into hotels came from our work in transportation. And we were working, or we do work a tremendous amount in aircraft interior design. And that involves designing small private spaces in public spaces, which is a really interesting concept. And then these small spaces have to do everything from a workspace to a sleeping space to a sort of watching TV, a lounge. So they're very complex spaces. And we thought that wouldn't it be interesting to try and apply that to hotels, a fixed environment. We started working on the hotel concept, and we designed a very small hotel room, but it's a luxury environment with a small hotel room. We embarked on a hospital project from our learnings from aircraft again. And what we were thinking is that there are some amazing similarities between the way that an aircraft has to function from safety reasons and how a hospital could function. And particularly now when in hospitals many of the operations are done just during the day, you don't have to stay overnight. But I don't think hospitals have really understood that this has changed completely. So we came up with this idea of a recovery lounge. So the lounge is actually a series of small semi-enclosed spaces with chairs in them, rather like the layout of an aircraft. So that you have a little bit of privacy when you're recovering, feeling a bit drowsy maybe, but you still have the overall care of someone within the room, and you don't feel isolated, which is something that we know has shown in findings, that if you're stuck in maybe a room or you feel quite isolated, perhaps when you're not feeling so well. So there are lots of similarities between aircraft and the hospital environment, certainly safety, but then we call them sight lines in takeoff and landing. You have to be able to see everybody's face, the crew have to. I think it's very similar in hospitals. And then also fit for purpose. If something becomes damaged, just like in a hospital, you have to be able to clean it. So our idea is that you could hose down the whole thing. But the main aim is to try and save money and save efficiencies and make the experience a better experience so people can leave hospital quicker. The concept for the hospitals was called the Recovery Lounge, and it was our own idea. And the idea is to push this information out into the world and see what responses we get back. And this is our way of actually being able to leapfrog from one discipline to another, rather than happy accident happening. We first started designing trains because Richard Branson called us up and said, would you like to design a train? You haven't designed a train, but we like that. And why should we rely on someone having the foresight? Why didn't we actually push that ourselves? And that's what we've been doing.